I've put shooting into my game. So when I press the spacebar, I shoot bullets, and my bullets kill enemies. You can see if I'm facing right, if I just moved right, I shoot to the right. If I move left, I shoot to the left. Let's go and look at how I did that. In tiled, obviously I've got an enemies layer. It's got my enemies on it. In my program, obviously I'm going to import those enemies. So I've got an enemy list, which is importing from the enemies layer, not forgetting to draw my enemy list down here. Shooting then. So what have I got? I have got a key press event. So in the key press thing where we've got the up for jump and left and right, I've also got a check to see if the key press was a space. And if the space bar was pressed, I create a bullet, and I'll talk about the positioning and this stuff in a second, but that bullet, once I've set its position and its direction, gets appended to the bullet list. The bullet list is initially just an empty list, it's got no bullets in it. Although of course I do draw my bullet list, even if there's nothing in it, I still need to draw it all the time. So where had I got to? Yeah, so when the bullet is spawned, I've set its position to be the position of the player. The player center X, the player center Y. I have tweaked it down by 10 pixels. I found that if I made it exactly the center of the sprite, when I shot the bullets, it would just basically go in the gap between other sprites, which is super annoying. So if you just drop it down by 10 pixels, it's less annoying. And then I've got this bit here to set the change X, because it's going horizontally. The change X is the horizontal velocity. And the way I've decided whether to shoot right or left is with this shoot direction variable, self.shoot direction. Right up in the init section, the setup, I specified that the shoot direction would be right. So the initial startup situation is that I shoot to the right. And in the on key press, I update that. So if I've pressed the left key, then I change that self.shoot direction variable to have the value left. And if I press the right key, I change that shoot direction variable to have the value right. So if the value of that self.shoot direction is right, then the bullet.changeX is this bullet speed. That's a constant. You should be not surprised to see that's just that number there. That's an easy to change right at the top. If it's not right, so else, bullet change is minus, so it's heading in the opposite direction, so it's going to the left. I also rotate the sprite by 180 degrees, just so it looks like it's facing in the right direction. My bullet's kind of small, but you know, details count, don't they? Right, so that's made the bullets head off from me. Now let's go and look at what happens when they hit something. So in this on update thing, well, not obviously, but maybe it's worth saying, I need to update the bullet list, otherwise that change X does not get applied to the bullets. They just sit in one place without moving. Then I'm going through every bullet in that bullet list, and I'm doing a thing to check whether it's hit something. So for each bullet in the self.bullet list, I do a check for collision with list with that bullet against my enemy list. Now, if that hit list is anything other than 0 long, it means I just hit an enemy. So I'm killing the bullet that I just found, and I'm also killing the enemy. So this 0th element in the hit list, which is things that I just hit, there's only going to be one thing in that list. I don't think you're likely to hit 2 enemies at the same time. Don't see how that would work. Anyway, we're killing that, that enemy there. Getting rid of the bullet, getting rid of the enemy. I've also done this thing. The bullets will just keep going forever. And I can imagine in a situation, if you're shooting lots and lots of bullets, we could end up with lag if you just end up with all these bullets in the far distance just heading off nowhere. So I've said if the bullet is, I've said out of range if the center Y, that should be, shouldn't it? Center X. So if the x coordinate is less than 0 or the x coordinate is greater than 2000, I've decided that that bullet is no longer in play and I'm going to kill that bullet. That's how I did shooting.